So, shall we start now? Okay. So, guys, when I'm just talking about the next topic, which is an important one, that is called organizing. Organizing is basically, in a very simple term, how we can define that. It is basically the division of work. Okay. Because we're talking about an organization, and the term organization, basically nothing but how that work is basically being assigned to the different people, how the things has been coordinated. Okay. So as you know that organizing is basically a dynamic and the continuous activity because, for example, if you're talking about your own house, when you organize things, your bedroom, your kitchen, your hall, your dining area, your, we can say plantation area, whatever it could be, it cannot be same as it is because you always actually try to make it more better, make it more attractive so that you would be able to achieve certain objectives. Same happens in the organization as well. Okay, because if things are properly divided, things are properly actually constructed, things are properly floated, definitely each and everyone would be able to understand their responsibility properly. If the things are very distorted, things are not streamlined, definitely that will actually create some problem in the organization because no one having certain direction. I think we discussed in the last one about direction and importance of direction in the organization. Okay, now guys, if you have any doubt in any of the point, because it's very simple topic, so I'll go a bit fast. So when we talk about process of organizing, the important thing is that the first thing that is about determination of objective. Okay, because whenever we are talking about any organization and we are organizing the activities as well, first of all, you need to identify the objective that what you want to organize in the company. When it's come to role and responsibility, job responsibility, work ethics, okay, enumeration of objective, proper division of work, classification of activity to different people, marketing, HR, finance, according to department, according to specialization, assignment of duties means each and everyone must be responsible for certain you could say answerable activity in the company. Because if I delegate an authority of being a sales manager of Mumbai region, definitely you have that duty to furnish or to fulfill the company's requirement. And the last one is called delegation of authority. Delegation means you need to actually being responsible and you need to structure the relationship in the organization. Okay, so delegation of authority means what? You are giving certain responsibility to a particular person to perform that task. For example, you are a sales manager of a Mumbai region. It's a duty that you need to increase the sales. Now, responsibility is that because you are answerable for that particular job position in the organization. So that is about the process of organizing. Is this clear, guys? I think. Sure. Let's move to the next slide. Organizational design now. There are two types of design we have. That is called the traditional design and contemporary design. Basically, it consists of few parts: simple, functional, and divisional, team, matrix, and boundary. So we'll discuss one by one now. First, I'm coming to simple structure of the company. Simple means where the departments are very low, where the span of control is very wide. Okay, span of control means controlling the activity in the organization. Because if we have a single department or maximum two departments in the company, definitely the controlling would be very easy in the organization as well. The decision making done by the top authority only or central authority, that is by single person, because these type of structure is being followed in small private companies in the market. Okay, and definitely there would be some little formalization because the organization is very small and things are easily manageable in the company. Okay, so strength of this particular, you can say advantage of simple structure, maybe fast, flexible, inexpensive to maintain, clear accountability. These things happen in the small private organization. What is the weakness of that? Not appropriate as company grow, because the company size is very high, company is in the growth stage. Definitely you need to move to some dynamic structure which supports to the organization. Clear? So that is basically the simple structure we have. Very simple, guys. I think shall I move? Okay, if you have any doubt, guys, just post in the chat box. I'm just going a bit fast because it's a very simple topic and self-understood topic as well. Okay, then with the functional structure. Functional means departmentalization we are talking right now. We are grouping the people based on North region, West region, based on sales, marketing. Okay, so ultimately functional means nothing but Because we are doing some functional departmentalization and the people are basically categorized based on their specialization. Okay, that is called functional structure. Next one we have divisional structure. Division means, for example, a medical organization having some business units. Consumer products are different, devices are different, pharma is different. Okay, like Reliance having some divisional units. Reliance Digital is different, Reliance Jewels is different, Reliance Petrochemical is different. That is called divisional structure of the company. Clear? Guys, can you please give me a thumbs up or give me a confirm chat box? I think so that I can move further. Yeah, thank you so much. Then we have the team structure now. Team means you are working in a group. These basically type of structure is more suitable for projects. Okay. Or we can say when a particular task, it is being performed by so many people, not only a single person responsible for that. Like we talk about cricket team, football team. A team is basically accountable for the goal of a particular organization. That is called team structure. Then we have the metrics or project structure. Okay, metrics means I'll directly give you an example actually, because for example, project structure we're talking right now. As we know that because these particular metrics or project structure is basically for time being on. For example, the development of Vista project, the development of Ram Mandir, okay, in India, in Ayodhya, okay, development of, you could say, various airports in India, because these companies are basically working for a short, not a short period, for a span of time. When the task is complete, definitely they are flexible to move to some other task. Project structure. Clear, guys? I think very simple. Shall I move? Yeah, sure. Then we have the boundaryless structure. Now, for example, if I'm working right now with IIBM, okay, I'm working virtually with them, okay, since last 4 years. Boundaryless structure means, for example, if I'm sitting in Indore right now, I'm taking your classes. Tomorrow, I'll travel to Mumbai. I can take the class from there as well. Okay. Boundaryless structure says that because when the system are virtual or the system are based on networks, okay, such type of organization belongs to boundaryless structure because you need to give that flexibility and freedom to work in an efficient environment. That is called boundaryless structure. Metric structure, Jyoti, is good more about a project structure where the things are or the team is basically collected. Like, for example, movie. A particular movie in which we have the director, producer, music composer, they are coming for a project. When the project is done, when the movie is done, completed, they actually belong to the other projects. That is called metric structure. Clear? Jyoti? Boundaryless is also clear, guys? Sure. Let's move to the next slide then. Functions of organization. I think I've already explained you all the types. Delegation of authority, grouping of activities. Yeah, please have a look, guys, I think. Because this topic is very simple actually and self-understood, organizing. Any point to be discussed over here? Organizational design is divided into broadly with structure, simple. Okay, you are talking about the categorization. That is simple structure. This is the one? No. Yeah, this is the one I think you're asking for. Might be traditional structure and contemporary structure. Okay. Yes, Sean, defining relationship. You see, it's among juniors definitely because it is more about, you can say, inter and intra both. Inter and intra both. So defining relationship means each and everyone knows about their subordinates. They understand what sort of, we could say, coordination, bonding which the company is expecting out of him. Okay, that is called defining relationship. Your immediate boss, your seniors, okay, your juniors, that exactly will come under defining relationship. Everyone knows about their boundaries and their limits as well. And coordination of various activities, that is about the flow of activity, we can say. Okay, like for example, if some order is being passed by the regional manager to area manager will pass to sales manager of a city, salesman will transfer to the team under which the people are working. It is called flow of responsibilities, flow of, you could say, you can say information from top management or from top to bottom or bottom to up as well. But usually, when it comes to organization, things are going always from top to bottom. When it comes to structurization, Mahesh, clear? I think last 2 points, and Sean, I think thank you so much. Shall I move, please, guys? Everyone, if it is done, and if it is clear as well. Sure, thank you. Then we have the principles now. Now, principles, basically, the first is called principle of definition, fixing the responsibility in the organization, as I told you, because any organization, if there is no responsibility, no authority, definitely the organization would be directionless. Okay. Principle of objective means each and everyone must have a common goal to achieve the goal of the organization. Division of work we discussed already. Principle of continuity, as I told you already, because it's a continuous process, it's a dynamic process. Span of control we discussed as well, because the controlling is very important. That's the reason we are going for departmentalization. Marketing department is handling by someone, HR department handling by someone, operation department handling by someone. So they have that particular controlling mechanism in such a manner so that things would be decentralized in manner as well, and each and every person accountable for their, you could say, job responsibility and duty is being assigned to the particular individual in the company. And principle of exception, we discussed in the last session, guys, MBE, management by exception, means you always need to prioritize your thing. What exactly you need to go ahead. I'll just show you very good, a process. I think one video I just want to show you. If you can permit me, I think. One very beautiful video about prioritizing your work and organizing. Okay. Let me just show you with few more principles now. Yeah, definitely, I'll show that. Then we have principle of flexibility as well. Flexibility means we are talking about readiness to market changes, because whatever market condition changes, political condition, economic condition, legal condition, you need to be flexible enough to actually, you could say, adopt yourself in that changing environment. Principle of unity of direction means common goal. Means each and every individual must have that focus, must have that blueprint, that what exactly they need to achieve in the short period of time. Principle of balance, workload management, personal life, professional life, even in the organization as well. What sort of, we could say, responsibility or workload you are assigning to a particular person, so that he should feel actually, he should not feel exhausted on a particular day and might not be disinterested in the company's activities. Scalar principle is very simple, because who is your superior and to whom you need to answer. You must know your hierarchy in the company. Principle of efficiency, minimum resources, less time, right time, and minimum workers. Means you need to achieve everything with the least possible cost, but make sure quality should not be compromised. And delegation of authority means each and everyone must know about their responsibility in the company. What is the purpose behind assigning a particular duty or responsibility to the individual in the company. So I hope so, guys, these points are clear, principles. Then 3 more points we have. Principle of responsibility we discussed already. Principle of uniformity. Uniformity means there should be equal power, equal status given to the same line workers working in the company. If we have 5 regional managers, all 5 regional managers must not be distinguished on biased manner. There should not be any favorism in the company. And principle of simplicity and accountability. Simplicity means definitely things should not be complex in nature. Okay, you always try to make the things as smooth, as fluid, we can say, in the company, so that each and everyone must understand what exactly the purpose behind giving certain instruction, use some freedom, give them some sort of, you could say, scope of breathing in the company as well. That is exactly called your principle of simplicity and accountability. Guys, clear, I think, everyone? See, all the other principle, Fauzi, these all are basically the total 12, total, I think 15, 16 principles we have. Okay. And then we have the difference between formal and informal organization. Okay. Formal means what? You are abide to that structure of the company. Informal means out of your organization, you are meeting people personally or on an informal grounds. Okay. So have a look, guys, all these differences first. Then I'll show you a very good video. If you are done with this, let me know. It's very simple, actually. Formal, informal, everyone knows about it. Just look all the points and let me know which point to discuss if it is not clear. No. NGO basically, Anubhav, it's a formal organization. Because in NGO as well, there are proper structurization of the different duty and responsibility. NGO definitely come under formal only. Spontaneous means on the spot, immediate. For example, Jyoti, you met with a very good, you joined a new company and you find very good colleague over there. And very next day you went for coffee. Okay, that is called informal organization. See, I think, Anubhav, I give the example. Okay. Informal means, for example, you are working in a company and like, for example, I'm working in any organization as a faculty and I'm working in finance department. And I met a very good guy in my organization, and he belonged to marketing department. And if we are like, apart from our duties in the college, we are meeting outside. Okay, we are talking to them. We are meeting personally. We are actually more actively in some academic research as well. So anything which we are doing apart from the duty responsibility in the organization, that exactly come under informal. Sure.